serving as the Regional Director for the Trustees of Reservations, and I want to welcome you to this special celebration dedicating the newest reservation of the Trustees, Mount Warner Reservation. So I just want to say a special thank you to the North Hadley Sugar Shack. Shelley and Joe are running directors somewhere. There she is before she leaves. Thank you, Shelley. We have had such a wonderful, nourishing breakfast, and Shelley and Joe and the North Hadley Sugar Shack are wonderful partners today, so thank you so much. I also want to acknowledge Cynthia Summer, who's back there bustling around somewhere from the trustees. Cynthia, thank you. Tom Ford, our operations manager, is here. And I want to acknowledge how fortunate we are to have Jocelyn Forbush. Where's Jocelyn? There she is. To have Jocelyn with us today means so much to me personally. Jocelyn, as the former regional director for the West region, who really is responsible with our colleagues Lee Alexander and Walker Corby for the protection of this iconic landscape, Mount Warner. And now Jocelyn is actually the trustee's vice president for program leadership from our very own region. So welcome and thank you for being with us, Jocelyn. So I think everyone here is familiar with the Trustees of Reservations that over a century ago, really, the founders saw the dream of protecting iconic beaches and mountains, nationally renowned gardens, numerous farms, country estates, and historic landmarks. And we do hold the honor of being the oldest private land conservation organization in the country. The idea, which became our founding, can really be traced to an Olmsted protege, a young landscape architect named Charles Elliott, who proposed a corporation governed by all of you, by volunteer trustees dedicated to preserving special places across the Commonwealth. Elliott and his colleagues believed that the trustees was the museum of the Massachusetts landscapes, and they were scrupulous from the beginning in only welcoming iconic and beautiful landscapes considered unique to our family. They practiced what we now call comprehensive conservation, meaning the scenic and natural were equally weighted with the historic and cultural. We remain the only organization in the Commonwealth with this dual conservation mandate, and our charge is unique even nationwide. Our portfolio at this point has grown to over who knows how many reservations. I hear 107. Anyone else? 112 special places throughout Massachusetts. We're in 75 towns. Our membership is over 100,000 people like you, making us one of the largest membership entities in the state. We welcome more than 1 million visitors to our reservations annually. And what I want to share today is we know that all of this is possible only with partners, with our volunteers, our landowners, our donors, our public and private partners. Just to name a few, the Kestrel Land Trust, the DCR, Mass Fish and Wildlife, Porter Phelps Huntington, North Hadley Sugar Shack, the Pioneer Valley Planning Commission, the Hadley Conservation Commission, WGBY, now the new Friends of Lake Warner, CISA, even Laughing Dog Bicycles, who donated a bike rack at the new reservation, and so many more. So today we're here to celebrate our newest reservation, Mount Warner. We're fortunate that many years ago, the Scott and Agassiz families and the local conservation community with DCR and the Kestrel Land Trust recognized the beauty of this landscape and its conservation value. We're also fortunate that when the time came for the family who are with us today to entrust this beautiful place to us so that it could be possible for future generations to love, to enjoy, to explore, that we could count on each of you in this very room today. We thank you profusely for your support. Your response to the campaign for Mount Warner was generous. We also know this campaign was the beginning. Now that we have protected Mount Warner and share a vision with volunteers for continued stewardship and exciting more people to grow their engagement, we want to thank you for your continued generosity. We deeply, deeply appreciate it. I'd like to ask for a round of applause for you. We'd like to actually toast, and I think Cynthia is bustling around with some fresh cider, so we'll do that when she gets back, and do a cheers for this new Mount Warner and your generosity. So we'll do that when she's ready. Before I turn it over to Carolyn Hayes, I just want to say that many of you know that I grew up in this valley, and that I even learned to drive on these Hadley back roads. So for me, this celebration is very personal. We and my family, we love this landscape. We've watched the development. We have worked hard to protect our mountains, our farms, our river, our streams. And each of us in this room has stories to share about why we work so hard to protect this Pioneer Valley landscape. So I would like to invite Carolyn Hayes to join us up front, who is actually a member of the Scott and Agassiz family and has come all the way from Virginia, and her daughter's here and her granddaughter's here, to share her personal story about why she entrusted this property to the trustees. Welcome, Carol. Thank you.
I would like to thank Joanna for inviting me to this very special occasion. This is one of the happiest days of my life. I would also like to thank Jocelyn Borbush for meeting with my mother and I and telling us about the Trustees of Reservations. And a heartfelt thank you to all of the donors that made this day possible. While all three of my daughters and their families would love to be here, I'm thankful that my daughter Kristen and granddaughter Malvin could join me for this wonderful occasion. I would encourage your friends and family to visit and enjoy the quiet beauty and serenity of this very special place. The vernal pools, the wildlife, and the quiet beauty of nature will give you moments to remember. I know that 4 generations of the Scott family and my parents are smiling. They truly loved this mountain. 105 years ago, part of the mountain did not have any trees, and my family used it as pasture land to graze their cows. Long after we are gone, families yet unborn will enjoy this mountain. As I finish, I want all of you to know how much it means to have neighbors and friends that will watch over Mount Warner, and that this jewel of a mountain will lovingly be cared for by the trustees forever. And now, let's have a celebration. Thank you.
So if Carolyn will let you raise a glass.
Does everybody have a glass?
Does everyone have a glass?
Everybody has a glass? We have more.
Let's toast to celebrating the beauty of Hadley and the dedication of the Mount Warner Reservation today. Thank you, Carolyn. Cheers. Cheers. We will be having hard cider tastings at the top of the mountain in a little while. I would like to ask that we have extraordinary public officials in this part of Massachusetts, throughout Massachusetts really, but we're fortunate today that Representative Steinbach is here with us, John, and Senator Stan Rosenberg, we hope will be joining us. So I would love to ask you to share any remarks and to thank you for all of the public-private partnerships in protecting our landscapes throughout the Commonwealth and our particular region. So, John.
This really is a happy occasion. And I want to thank all of you for your contributions and what you've done to help this happen. First of all, we're here at the Sugar Shack, and we have to thank them. Before you leave, you should take some of that maple syrup and purchase some. I will tell you, a few years ago, I brought some of their maple syrup to Spain. People had never had maple syrup before and didn't know what to do with it. I said, this is fantastic. Can we get some more? I said, yeah, come to the United States, come to Hadley, Massachusetts. It's fantastic. The trustees have really, in the last decade or so, the last 15 years, been more of a presence here in Western Massachusetts. And I want to thank the trustees of reservations. Whether it's The facility across from the old Providence Hospital is fantastic, whether it's the dinosaur tracks that I've used, whether it's the Chesterfield Gorge and a few other facilities. They've been around for 123 years, and in the last 15 years have really increased their presence here, and I'm really grateful to the Trustees of Reservations. For the town of Hadley, this is really a momentous occasion because this dedication today adds to a few other things, and a 500-acre parcel. The residents of Hadley, you know that last year money was expended at town meeting to preserve the dam and ensure the Lake Warner is preserved. So the Friends of Lake Warner and the people who are supporting that, what we've got is really a conglomeration of facilities that are extraordinary. And that's why for me it's an honor and a privilege to represent this community. I drove up to South Hadley today, drove along Route 47, which is a scenic byway. I can't tell you the number of signs that I saw saying preserved farmland. And that's really important. You know, we have to thank the family. So we thank the Scott and the Exossus family for their foresight in terms of donating the land. So Carolyn's here with Kristen, her daughter, and with Molly, her granddaughter, so that Molly can come with her grandchildren years from now and see property that's still being preserved that people can enjoy. It's what makes this valley and this region so extraordinary. But it can't be done without support of people like yourselves. So whether it's this project or other projects, I really encourage you to continue to support land preservation, to support what we do. It's what makes this different. It's what gives us the quality of life that is so important. So I'm grateful to all of you. I look forward to this little ceremony ending so we can actually take the hike and go up there and see the new property. But thank you for coming. Thank you for doing all that you do. And above all, Carolyn, thank you and your family. Much appreciated. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Senator Rosenberg will be joining us, so when he comes, we'll say a few words. And please join us at the mountain for the dedication at 10:30. It's a beautiful stroll over to the new parking lot where we'll actually be, there are activities for kids right now. We'll start the dedication around 10:30 and then hike the new Salamander River Trail. So thank you all.